Hola delegados, my name is Matthew Villa and I'm excited to be the head chair for OAS, which is the Organization of American States, for BMUN 70. Having been the vice chair for OAS the 2 previous years of my experience in BMUN, I'm excited to take on the role as head chair for OAS this year to continue the legacy of the only Spanish-speaking bilingual committee at BMUN, as well as to have 2 invigorating topics centered around the roles and effects and lives and treatment of Indigenous peoples of North and South America. The first topic that we will be debating in conference is topic A, which is the upholding and defending the rights of Indigenous peoples of North and South America. I chose this topic because I believe from my experience in the education system, I wasn't exposed to the histories of the communities and peoples that lived before the creation of the states that we now organize and conceptualize in Latin America. In this topic, I hope delegates begin and gain a critical eye in terms of looking at how to critique the frameworks that are currently guiding the relationships between states and Indigenous communities, specifically looking at how these documents have been implemented and affecting and actually creating different results for the day-to-day lives of Indigenous peoples. I also hope that we, as a community within debate, we understand and look at the contradictory nature of the establishment of a state over these Indigenous peoples at the onset of colonialism and imperialism throughout the ages. Continuing with the theme of centering the Indigenous peoples of North and South America, topic B is looking at the environmental impacts of both public and private tourism. In this topic, we'll not only be looking at the direct environmental impacts and the different effects of tourism sectors within these countries in Latin America, but we'll also be looking at how tourism has been used by certain countries as a tool of imperialism or neo-colonialism. Another aspect of topic B will also be looking at Indigenous-led tourisms, specifically like ecotourism, and also the greenwashing of ecotourism that has led to some misconceptions of how sustainable practices within tourism can be led and organized. And we'll also be looking at how the international community can create frameworks that center and support the stewardship of Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous communities leading these tourism sectors that often are within the historical and ancestral claims of the Indigenous peoples within Northern and Southern America. I hope delegates are able to walk away from this conference with a perspective that is Indigenous focused, because I believe that in the discussion of various international issues, the communities that are most affected by them are often Afro-descendants and Indigenous populations. So I hope that delegates walk away from this conference with the knowledge and just a perspective that leads them to focus and center and look at the effects of particular resolutions or problems and have it focused on the Indigenous communities and the effects that those proposed solutions may have on the most marginalized communities within the region. Thank you so much, and I thoroughly look forward to seeing all of your faces in March in our conference.